is Saturday, July 27th, and you are watching You Don't Watch Sports right here on the Feo Grande YouTube network. I'm Bill Smith, and I am joined, as always, by the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande himself, Omari Ellis. Omari, how was your sports week, sir?
Fantastic. Fantastic. I
Fan
don't have any complaints. Well,
Fantastic. We're going to get into it, your sports week specifically here in topic number one, because we cover three topics here on You Don't Watch Sports, just sprinkling a little sports information into your casual conversation as we are the guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. Omari, let's get right into it because we got a lot to talk about this week. Big
yes.
weekend last weekend. You hit on it a little bit in last week's show. Let's get the recap. Let's get the
That's
results.
right. Evolution 2024 took place last weekend in Las Vegas. Biggest fighting game.
Evolution.
Yeah, that's what Evo is short for. Evo 2024 was last weekend. Biggest fighting game tournament in the world. I touched on some of the people to look at last week. I'm gonna go ahead and do as quick a recap I can, and I'm gonna do it kind of themed by the numbers. Okay, the first number I got for you, 4. I mentioned one of the players you asked me to look for, who you can look out for last week. I said Zhao Hai. He's a King of Fighters player. He's a King of Fighters legend. The commentator called him the man closest to God as we were watching the top 6. And doing so, he won his 4th Evo championship in that game, solidifying himself amongst the top, fighting another former Evo champ in the grand finals in ET, who had, well, I believe, bested Zhao Hai at Evo Japan earlier this year. Now, the next number I have for you, 5. Arslan Ash, another player I mentioned, Tekken God, as we're going to call it now. What's his name's the man closest to God with 4. I guess once you're 5 and above, you got to be God. Arslan Ash won his 5th Tekken tournament since 2019. Like his 5th Evo since 2019. Arslan Ash has just been dominating
So
Tekken.
is that five in a row?
It is not because of Evo Japan's,
Okay.
but he won like an Evo Japan. I think he lost Evo. He lost something in there. It wasn't 5
Dominance
in a row.
still.
But the bottom line is he's like second place for third if he's not first. And he's pretty much him and some of his like close friends and training partners have turned the game from a Korean game to a Pakistan game. Tekken is Pakistan's game now. The rest of us are just playing it. That's 5. Now, a player I didn't mention, and I was kicking myself for mentioning, Sonic Fox. 7 is the number I have for you with Sonic Fox. This is their 7th Evo championship, and they've one of the few people who have it in multiple games. They've won actually the most different games to have Evo championships in is Sonic Fox with their 7th, the second most Evo championships of all time, behind one Justin Wong with 9, and just passing up Daigo Umehara, who had 6, and I believe there was one other person who had 6. But there you go with that. Sonic
Wow.
Fox won MK1, dominating fashion, showed everyone, reminding them or reminding the world that, yeah, they're probably the next GOAT when all is said and done. Then I got one final number for you, and that number is 1. Punk the God, who I know I mentioned about a player to watch, the most consistent Street Fighter player of the past few years, like past like 7 or 8 years, had one stigma attached to him. That big tournament, whether it be Evo, whether it be Capcom Cup, it was always second place. But that wasn't just a problem with Punk. USA, when it comes to the mainline Street Fighter game at the time, has not won Evo in the past 20 years. Not for Street Fighter 3, not for Street Fighter 4, not for Street Fighter 5, and not the first year of Street Fighter 6, where Punk also came in third. But finally, Punk, after a devastating loss in second place 7 years ago to Tokido, another highly touted Evo player who got, I think, 9th this year. After 7 years ago, where he got second to there, he finally made it in a last round, last like match type situation. And USA and Punk specifically from Philadelphia, now living in Orlando, USA has finally won.
USA, USA.
The curses are over. Whether it be Punk, or whether it be Punk's personal curse or the country's curse when it came to Street Fighter, the curse is over.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Now, people may be wondering why we're talking about esports on a sports show, but hey, you know who just said esports is going to be a sport enough? The Olympic Committee, which brings us into, yeah, by the way, they did say that they're going to start some kind of Olympic esports thing this week. That said, that transitions into our next topic. It's the Olympics.
The Olympics have officially begun, Omari. We gave you a preview last week, and things are starting to roll on. So let's get a little deeper into the action. Events have already started to begin on this 16-day event. Omari, you had a little recap for us?
Yeah. So in the lead at the moment with two gold medals in diving and shooting, the People's Republic of China have two gold medals in the medal count. Following them with one gold is Australia with cycling. Britain has two medals, neither gold, but one silver in cycling and one in diving. USA is behind them with one silver and one bronze in cycling and diving. The main two events, I guess, that have happened right now. The Republic of Korea or South Korea has one silver in shooting, and Kazakhstan has the bronze in shooting. Those are the medals that have happened so far. I mean, it's been one day, but the whole Olympics still have to come. We still have a lot to look out for, a lot of people to look out for.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got a lot to look out for. I'm going to run down them for you right now. Obviously, you got your big name stars that you might already know the names of. They are competing in these next 16 days. You have obviously Simone Biles, who's actively being called the GOAT in women's gymnastics. And gymnastics probably all time because usually women hold that sport down stronger than the men. So you have her competing in another Olympic trial. Steph Curry, interestingly enough, this will be his very first Olympics. Despite his long career at this point with many accolades, he is yet to get that gold medal. And with his real life head coach, Steve Kerr, leading Team USA, I would imagine Steph Curry is going to be the quarterback of this superstar team. And I think he is going to be the standout in all of these big names on Team USA. Katie Ledecky is going for the most decorated female swimmer of all time, Omari. She is our Michael Phelps now in the swimming world, and she just continues to dominate. So we root big for Katie Ledecky. And then obviously you have our two track superstars currently from the world's the fastest man in the world, Noah Lyles, as well as the fastest woman in the world, Sha'Carri Richardson. They look to dominate track and field for Team USA. So we look to support them in that. Also, a couple of new faces that I want you to keep an eye out for. Sophia Smith is new to Team USA Soccer. The women's team in soccer is always strong, and she is part of this new generation getting added into the team. In 50 appearances for US Soccer in trials and world tournaments, she already has 20 goals and a lot to look forward to in Sophia Smith, as well as Coco Gauff in tennis, who is currently dominating at her very young age. She was going to be competing in the 2020 Olympics at the young age of 17, but 5 days before the competition was to begin, she contracted COVID-19. Had to drop out of the Olympics. Just recently, she was the runner-up on the women's side in the French Open, so we look to have a big showing for Coco Gauff. Keep that name in your brain because you'll be hearing a lot later on. And that's our faces to look out for. Omari, excited. We're excited for these Olympics.
Oh yes, I am very much excited for these Olympics, especially the events that you watch. I usually like track anyway. I especially like events where America has a chance of winning. So we got Katie Ledecky. I liked her in the last Olympics or whatever. Obviously, Michael Phelps fan. Obviously, like our American basketball team, and I like the players on the basketball team. You mentioned Steph being the quarterback of things. So far, though, it's looking like old man LeBron, at least with the exhibitions. Obviously, the Olympics is about to start proper, but so far on these exhibition games, it's looking like the old man ain't ready to get off the throne just yet. Uh, he helped clutch out a couple wins. One, the most notable one that pops into my head being against South Sudan.
Mhm. Well, I
Uh,
don't think I don't think Steph is necessarily going to be top scorer. I just
mm.
and I haven't watched exhibitions yet. I just picture him coming out of the point a
Oh
lot,
no, I agree with you. Like
and
that should be what it is. I'm just saying so far it's been,
it's been LeBron coming out as point guard, kind of.
well, I don't know about point guard, but
Uh, yeah,
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I think Steph Curry's going to get the assists in this tournament. He's going to
gotcha.
rack up assists. He's going to hang back for his threes, but he's mostly going to be the guy bringing the ball over, orchestrating,
I can see that as well.
looking
Like that
for
is true.
those passes for those crazy LeBron dunks and alley oops and things like
Yeah, and
that.
then you got everybody else that's there because we went with our dream team round three.
Yeah, Redeem Team 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's move into topic number 3, Omar. We got the MLB trade deadline going on as we speak, and that's a big moment, halfway point in the season where our competition teams are looking to improve, looking to supplement. Maybe you've had an injury the first half of the year and you need to replace it, or maybe you're just seeing your team in a different light, seeing some holes, you need to plug some things in, as well as our teams that have, let's be frank, already given up on the season and they're looking to remove assets for future assets. So, what we got going on right now, I'm going to give you two of our winners, I would say, so far in this early trade deadline. You
All
have the
right.
Mariners making two big trades. They gain outfielder Randy Arozarena from the Tampa Bay Rays, and they get Yimi Garcia from the Toronto Blue Jays in their bullpen, looking to bolster that team in a very, very tight AL West, hoping to unseat the Houston Astros, who have had a stranglehold of that division for so long. We here at You Don't Watch Sports are rooting for the Seattle Mariners, and good to see that they are making big time newsworthy trades. Also, I want to talk about one of those teams I just mentioned, the Tampa Bay Rays, who have decided that maybe this year is not their year. But this is always the Tampa Bay model. They always play smart and they're always playing 3 years ahead of the ball. So they are currently unloading a lot of current major league starting assets for minor league future talent. They have made
Mm.
3 trades at this point, removing starting roster members and receiving young minor leaguers. So they are bolstering right now for the future and looks like to be a reset with trading one of their stars, Randy Arozarena. This is going to be looks like a reset year for Tampa Bay, which in the early history of Tampa Bay can be a little scary because once they reset in 2 years, they are going to be very strong. And then I also want to highlight a thing that we don't really get every year, which is a contending team trading with another contending team. Two teams acknowledging that they have an excess in an area and a need in another. So they will, for instance, we have the Philadelphia Phillies trading with the Baltimore Orioles.
All
The
right.
National League leading team trading with the leading team in the American League
That is weird. Like,
because
because this,
because one needs an outfielder and the other has a bunch of outfielders, and one needs a reliever and the other has a bunch of relievers. So they say, well, I mean, if we play each other, it's going to be in the World Series. So
yeah.
why don't we
Wh-
just
wh-
make this switch?
yeah. Which were the two teams again?
So that was the Philadelphia Phillies and the Baltimore Orioles. The
Okay.
Boston Red Sox also traded with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Those are two very possible playoff teams
Yeah.
trading with each other, which doesn't always happen. Usually
Yeah.
it's a team in the basement trading with a team at the top.
That's generally how it goes. But yeah, if it's Phillies and the other one that in the finals, that'd be cool. Just seeing that go off with their like little trade. It's like, oh well, we traded each other's teams and we still got to each other to fight in the finals.
Mhm.
And now you got a double revenge game against the team that traded you away type
Yep.
shit going on with those players.
Well, we have just about a half a week left in the trade window, so it is still ongoing, and we'll probably update you next week on anything big that happens. We'll keep an eye out. I get into rumors and innuendo, but it's just too murky of waters out there this year. The market is
Do
not
something, Cardinals.
the market is not flush. Um, I think everything is going to be a surprise and a oh well, let's dive into that. Let's look at that guy. What's going on there? I'm not so sure how many big giant names are going to be moved this year. So I think that's gonna wrap up our three topics on You Don't Watch Sports. If you like hearing us talk about stuff like sports or movies or TV shows or music or whatever, you can find all kinds of videos here on this channel. On Mondays, we do something called Mock Draft where we goof around and we draft different topics, just making up fun things to draft because drafting things is fun. We also have a show where we watch media back and forth, trying to show things that one person has seen and the other hasn't to broaden horizons, called You This Guy Hasn't Seen. And then we also
Yeah.
have a friend of the channel, Super Jazz,
Super
that joins
Jazz.
Omari every week for a show called Whatever We Want, which is on Wednesdays. Omari,
Yes,
where
sir.
else can they find you on the internet?
They can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. I'm playing a lot of stuff and video games and stuff on stream.
What are we
Just
playing right now?
chilling and having a good time. I'm about to try. So Guilty Gear Strive just got a new patch with like a 3v3 thing. I'll probably be playing that. But also I'm trying to get into some more one-player games and so I don't have to just always be competition and stuff, just to have the extra chill things. Trying to decide on something like RPG or something to play. I haven't fully decided on that yet, but yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, that'll do it for You Don't Watch Sports. Have a good sports week.
Adios, miss.